Hershey Park is killing it right now, and Dorney Park, which is located about an hour away, is way past due for a new roller coaster, and I predict that one is coming very soon, and you're about to find out why I think that is. Plus, I'm going to share with you the 3 potential coaster types that would make the biggest impact for Dorney Park and share what area they would be located at within the park. Now, 2005 was when the last non-relocated coaster opened up at Dorney, and since then we've obviously seen Possessed and Stinger, and sadly their Vekoma inverted boomerang only lasted around 6 years or so. Hydra the Revenge, the B&M floorless coaster, is the last brand new coaster that was added to Dorney Park, making it very clear that this park, located in Allentown, Pennsylvania, is in desperate need of a brand new roller coaster of some type. And with the ambitious growth coming from Hershey Park, Cedar Fair is definitely feeling the pressure, and I gotta assume that they do have a plan in place for Dorney Park. And there are a few reasons why I think this. And number 1 was the proposed Gravity Group shuttle coaster that could have been built, let's say in 2022 or 2023 if it wasn't for COVID. This coaster was very close to happening, and I for one am glad it didn't, because if it was built, it sounds like Possessed would no longer be at the park, because according to the blueprints, part of the Gravity Group shuttle coaster overlapped with the first spike on Possessed. So I think it's safe to assume that the Gravity Group shuttle coaster is no more. So again, great news. Another reason why I predict that Dorney Park is very close to announcing a new roller coaster, I would say by 2025 at this rate, is because their new GM, Jessica Naderman. She took over as park president when Mike Fennell relocated down to Charlotte to work for Cedar Fair corporate. So I really do feel as if she was moved to Dorney Park to oversee this awesome park and their first major new roller coaster since 2005. And it's clear that Jessica, if you follow her path of her success, she is passionate and she's one of the best up-and-coming GMs in the entire industry. So Dorney's market is massive and it's pretty lucrative as well. And I really do find it a head scratcher as to why Cedar Fair has never really dumped a lot of money into this wonderful little park. Because I gotta say, Dorney Park is one of the best well-ran parks there is, and it has a great coaster collection. But with only offering 7 roller coasters, there's definitely a few voids that the park definitely needs to address. Now before I get to my predictions and thoughts about the next coaster coming to Dorney, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that Dorney Park's Wildwater Kingdom is by far the biggest draw for the park in the summertime. And while this water park isn't that special in terms of like new slides and unique attractions, going to Dorney on a summer afternoon, you're not going to really find many lines in the dry park because most people are over at the water park. But I really feel as if a very unique roller coaster could really help balance out both sides of the park, and that is a win-win. Now, some encouraging news from Cedar Fair. This statement was just released on October 30th. An article on Theme Park Tribune states that the Cedar Fair CEO said, "We are poised to deliver the best year in company history." Cedar Fair's financials are on a record-setting pace through the first 10 months of 2022, according to the company's latest earning report. Through October 30th, attendance hadn't fully recovered from its pre-pandemic levels, but at 24.9 million guests, it was only off by 4% from 2019 and up 43% from the same time last year. Revenue and guest spending, however, had both increased compared to 2019. Another very encouraging piece of this article states that Cedar Fair also paid down more than 90% of the debt that they took on to survive the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Zimmerman. While he bragged about investing in marketable new attractions in 2023, he also said that inflation is putting pressure on capital expenditures that include building new rides. But he goes on to say that they are making adjustments within the capital program where we can absorb those pressures without sacrificing the impact of the product. With now knowing all of this, I really do feel as if Cedar Fair is on a great path to succeed. And Dorney Park, your time is coming up, because I predict that the next roller coaster would cost anywhere from $10 to about $12 million, with an outside chance of this coaster being around $15 million. But I do not see this new coaster costing over that. It just doesn't make sense for the return on investment for Dorney Park, Cedar Fair, for that type of massive investment for this park. But that's okay, because there's a ton of awesome roller coasters that you're about to find out that would do really great things for Dorney Park and give them some great marketability. Something that's going to have to happen considering how fast Hershey Park is growing. Starting off with the first potential coaster that I could see coming to Dorney Park, and that would be an Intamin vertical launch coaster. Yes, the brand new coaster that Intamin just released looks phenomenal, and it's very clear that Intamin is going to push this product as much as they can, and I really do feel as if we're going to see these things pop up all over the world, and that is a great thing. Not only do these rides offer a vertical launch, but they can also offer a vertical drop, and that's something that Dorney Park doesn't really offer and desperately needs. This would also give the park yet another launch coaster, and they can market it as the most launch coasters in any park in Pennsylvania. Now, what I really like about these Intamin vertical launch coasters is the fact that they're not massive, but they do so much. And I would assume that the price tag for one of these rides is anywhere from like $12 to $15 million. So right around the higher end of the budget for Dorney Park, but it's something that I do think is doable. And as for the location for these coasters, I mean, Dorney Park has a ton of room. Option 1 will be the old Dinosaurs Alive area, and as you can see here, the park has plenty of room to fit any type of coaster practically, and I definitely feel as if this area could be used for the next coaster. And another area that I feel as if could be used as well is obviously the old Stinger plot of land. And I think it's safe to say that Dorney Park has plans for this area because the Flying Eagle attraction is so isolated away from the rest of the park, it's just sad. So this ride needs something else to draw people back to it. With that being said, the next coaster type that I could see coming to Dorney would be a new Zamperla Double Heart coaster. Now, the reason why I went with Zamperla with this is because we already know they're working with them for Cedar Point's Wild Mouse coming in 2023. So I have to wonder if Cedar Fair signed a deal for 2 or 3 coasters coming from Zamperla. Not only do these rides look massive, there's 2 different sizes. So I'd be interested to find out if Dorney Park would go big with the taller one that's over 200 feet tall or the medium-sized one. Either way, this gives the park a new coaster that offers inversions as well as a launch. And capacity really isn't that big of a deal because Dorney Park doesn't get that busy unless the water park is closed. Another reason why I really like a Double Heart coaster at Dorney is the fact that it doesn't take up a huge plot of land, and this type of coaster would look really great on the skyline of Dorney. But those 2 coasters have nothing on this next one, and that would be Cedar Fair decides to add a new B&M coaster to Dorney. We already know they have Talon and Hydra, but now it's time for Dorney to add a coaster that Pennsylvania has never seen before. And I think 2024, maybe 2025 could be the year, because they have to add this attraction before Hershey Park does, and that would be a B&M dive coaster. Now, before you think there's no way that Dorney Park could afford or Cedar Fair will spend this type of money at Dorney, Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger at Fiesta costs around $12 to $13 million. And if Six Flags can afford it, then we all know that Cedar Fair can. Hypothetically speaking, of course. But with that said, a mini dive coaster around 160 to 170 feet tall would do wonders for Dorney, especially if this ride is located down by the Flying Eagles, because this is going to draw a ton of people not only to ride the attraction, but to sit there and watch it. B&M dive coasters are not only GP pleasers, they are arguably the most fun type of coaster to sit and watch, because people just stand there in awe of the roller coaster hanging over the drop at 90 degrees and then releasing. And I would also love it if Dorney Park could squeeze in a water splashdown. I really feel as if that would just add on to the marketing power of a B&M dive coaster. I really feel as if this type of coaster is the smartest move for Dorney Park since Hershey Park has yet to add one. And we all know that Great Adventure doesn't have one either. So 2 of the largest parks, one about an hour away and the other around 2 hours away, could feel some pressure if Dorney Park decides to add a B&M dive coaster along the same size as Cliffhanger. So those are my thoughts regarding Dorney Park's next coaster. Now, I want to know what you think. What type of roller coaster do you think Dorney Park should add next, and where in the park should it get built? Plus, tell me what year you think it's going to open. I really cannot wait to see your predictions, so be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.